Hello again, everybody. Zach Attack is here with my WWE Raw Supershow review for tonight, March the 5th, 2012. Overall, tonight's Raw, we had okay segments and caused some storyline developments for WrestleMania, including something happening for Triple H's match with Undertaker, which I'll get to in just a few seconds. That's our first segment tonight. We also had, of course, another Cena Rock confrontation. We had a little six-man tag, a little tag match involving the opponents for the championship matches at WrestleMania. But besides that, the matches themselves, however, we had three squashes in a row. And we had a U.S. title match that was kind of screwy, which I'll get to that in a moment. We crowned a new U.S. champion. Now, on starting with our first segment, Shawn Michaels. He came out first. Of course, we all know Triple H accepted The Undertaker's challenge. And Shawn Michaels was there to talk to Triple H about the reason why Triple H changed his mind. Because Triple H was apparently apprehensive about taking out Undertaker at Mania. Talking about the brand and not white for business. But we all know Undertaker said something that bothered Triple H was the fact that Undertaker said, Triple H, you couldn't do what your buddy did. Because you know your buddy Shawn was better than you. Of course, we heard Shawn in a WWE interview. I saw the interview, and he was bothered by that. So maybe that's why he came to confront Triple H. And he did. Of all the things I could think of that could make you say yes to Tucker, it was the fact that he said that the fact that I'm better than you eats you alive. And Shawn apologized, kind of apologized for making fun of Triple H, saying he was a coward when he came on Raw like 3 weeks ago, when Triple H was still apprehensive about taking on Taker. And Shawn tried to encourage him. And, Shawn went on his speech about, Triple H not being better. And Triple H said, I'm doing this for me. I'm doing this for you. That the fact that I'm going to get done what you couldn't do. I couldn't take the fact that you were being fun of as a loser. Well, Shawn's like, well, Triple H, I know who's going to win this thing. I'm the referee. It's been rumored since December that Shawn was going to referee at WrestleMania. I cannot address that. I think like day after Christmas I mentioned that there was rumors about Shawn refereeing at WrestleMania 28. There was rumors about a referee take on Triple H at WrestleMania 27 that never came to fruition. But now it's official. Shawn will be the special guest referee for Triple H and Undertaker at WrestleMania. And here's the ironic. 15 years ago this year, Shawn Michaels was in the very first Hell in a Cell match against The Undertaker. What was it? Bad Blood 1997? The night that Kane debuted. It was October 15th, I think. And now 15 years later, Hell in a Cell is at WrestleMania for the first time since WrestleMania 15. And Shawn's going to be the special guest referee on the 50th anniversary of the very first Hell in a Cell, when he referees against Triple H and Undertaker. And Shawn has been confirmed to appear next week in Cleveland. So is The Undertaker. Undertaker will be in Cleveland next week, so we'll be able to answer Shawn Michaels and talk about the fact that Shawn may be aiming towards Taker winning or Triple H winning, but who knows what'll go down with Taker in his new bald look. Maybe he won't review it. I've seen rumors that he was bald. I mean, he may review it at WrestleMania, but Taker on Raw next week, so will Shawn Michaels. So they'll both be there. Now on to our first match. I mentioned it was kind of a screwy situation. It was the United States Championship on the line as Jack Swagger defended against Santino Marella. As we all know, Teddy Long took over as Raw GM for the evening, as he and John Laurinaitis switched shows. Laurinaitis will be SmackDown's GM, but despite the fact he wasn't the GM for Raw tonight, John Laurinaitis still showed up anyway. He came out during the Jack Swagger Santino Marella match, accompanied by Otunga. Theodore Long came out alongside Kofi Kingston and Asuka, his girlfriend. This match was not even a match. This match, it was a screwy from the get-go. Everyone at ringside, a lot of distractions going on. There wasn't much wrestling, mostly comedy things like Santino did the Cobra on people who got distracted a few times. Everyone got involved. Everyone was at ringside. We had Vicky at ringside, Dolph Ziggler at ringside. I mentioned Teddy Long was at ringside. Asuka was at ringside. Kofi at ringside. And John Laurinaitis. Everyone got involved in the match. There was a cat fight with Asuka and Vicky. Kofi beat the crap out of Ziggler. Laurinaitis got shoved down by Long again. And tongue on his butt whip. In the midst of all that, we crowned a new United States champion amidst the chaos as Santino Moella has become your new United States champion. You know, I know like Santino's getting a champ, but it's stupid. Like Zack Ryder was very popular. If you gave Zack Ryder the title, you only made him have it for 2 weeks, and have him losing to Jack Swagger. And Jack Swagger beats a guy who tries to be more popular than Ryder, Santino. Serious, bro. I would not be surprised if Santino gets blamed for low ratings and gets him the same treatment Zack Ryder did. Have the title for 2 weeks, have some stupid injury, be written off. Like Ryder. I'll get to Ryder in a moment, because Ryder made a return tonight. But we'll see how long Santino holds on to it. Santino's a funny guy, but it's like, but I won't be surprised if he holds it longer than I think, because I think he held on when he was tag team champion with Kozlov. I think that lasted like 2 or 3 months. So, who knows? But the crowd likes the guy, Like Ryder too. Everyone loved Ryder for a while, and then Ryder went off. Let's see how long Santino's popularity will last. Santino's been getting cheered for the last 3 years, but last year or so he's been getting cheered a lot. Especially after the Elimination Chamber. I'll give him credit for Elimination Chamber, for his performance. But like I said, we'll see how long he lasts as U.S. champion. And of course, Laurinaitis and Teddy Long, the whole match was kind of screwy. It wasn't even a match. It's kind of like a segment with everyone getting involved. And of course, Laurinaitis and Teddy Long's feud is just getting crazy. Especially getting involved in matches. Last week, their feud got involved in screwing up the CM Punk Daniel Bryan match. This week, their feud kind of got tangled up with the whole Santino Jack Swagger match. So, there you go. But we have a new champion, Santino. Now on to our next match. I mentioned there was 3 squash matches tonight, and this is the first one. Alicia Fox taking on Eve. Nothing much to say. 30-second squash. Eve gained the victory. Kelly at ringside. But I mentioned that Zack Ryder, yes, he returned tonight. First time in weeks. Not in a wheelchair. He didn't have the neck brace or the fake back brace. He had a cane, though. And he said he was confronting Eve about being a hostie. And after that, Eve kissed him backstage. Who knows what that'll lead to, if Eve's in love with Zack Ryder again, or is she using him again. But who knows. Once a hostie, always a hostie is all I gotta say about Eve. Eve's trying to make it up to Zack, but once a hostie, always a hostie when it comes to Eve. Now on to our next match. It was the tag team match I thought was going to be the main event, but should have known Cena and Rock was going to end it again. Didn't go overtime, but still it ended well. I'll get to that in a few moments. So we had CM Punk teaming up with Sheamus against Chris Jericho and Daniel Bryan. WrestleMania opponents against each other. Now, despite the many squashes throughout the evening, this match kind of made up for the squashes and, of course, the various exciting things with Shawn, announcing he's a referee, things with Rock and Cena I'll get to in a moment. But this match was very intense. Everyone was not, like when CM Punk tagged himself in, Jericho getting pussy out. Everyone fought against each other. Everyone's saving their energy, saving the best for WrestleMania, but giving us intrigue. The match was very exciting. Like Sheamus and Punk did their thing, and Punk and Daniel Bryan had the moments. And it was down to Punk and Jericho in the end. And Jericho was going for the walls of Jericho again, because Punk favoring his injured back after getting scoop slammed on the stage last week and getting the walls of Jericho by Jericho. And Punk was on the wall. Punk was ready to kick some ass again. But it ended with Jericho getting a small package. It looked like Punk was in a small package. However, Jericho had the pin, and Jericho pinned CM Punk in a small package. Like the last 2 weeks, Jericho's been sending huge messages to the Punk. Like I mentioned, he scoop slammed Punk on the stage last week, gave him the walls of Jericho. This week, he pins him in a tag match with a small package. And walked out with the belt. So, Jericho was speaking loud and clear about who will be the best in the world come WrestleMania. So, there we go. Like it's a decent tag match, adding some more intrigue for Mania with Sheamus and Bryan. They'll feud building, but of course, the big thing, Punk and Jericho's feud is going to fire up, especially with Jericho getting a little bit of momentum in the last 2 weeks with his attack, and of course, he pinned on Punk tonight. So, we'll see what holds for the rest of the world to WrestleMania when it comes to Punk and Jericho. Now, on to our next match, which was Big Show against The Miz. Now, The Miz has been getting punished lately. Well, get punished yet again. Despite a distraction from his WrestleMania opponent, Cody Rhodes, Big Show beat the crap out of Miz in 30 seconds. Our second squash tonight after the Diva squash. Once again, WWE punishing The Miz. Because, Miz is getting blamed for low ratings and all that crap. So, and Big Show's getting some momentum. Basically, chokeslam, spear, knockout punch. That's all we need to tell. Just a basic squash match over The Miz. And at least The Miz was the only one to get a squash. R-Truth got a squash too, as he took on Kane in our next match. As we all know, last week, R-Truth teamed up with Kofi Kingston in a triple threat tag team match for the tag team titles against Dolph Ziggler and Jack Swagger and Epico and Primo. After the match, Kane attacked everybody. And he attacked R-Truth too. But then he attacked Randy Orton on SmackDown. And I had a sneaky feeling that Randy Orton would get involved in this match. Well, not during the match, but after. Basically, Kane squashed R-Truth. Basically, Kane beat the crap out of R-Truth, chokeslam, it's over. Another 30-second squash, a third squash of the night. I think it was fair. If Miz was in the squash, so were R-Truth. Back-to-back squashes. They're punishing Miz, they're going to punish R-Truth too. Right? Because R-Truth was on that main event too. It's Survivor Series that they're blaming Miz, the low ratings for. So, squish Miz and squash R-Truth too. After that, Randy Orton did come out. I was thinking Orton was going to come out during the match, but he didn't. But he attacked Kane after the match. Okay, Kane. It felt good to be back. He said, I'm smelling. Last week, I fully predicted that Big Show was going to wrestle Cody Rhodes in WrestleMania. I was right. This week, I'm doing it again. I'm making another WrestleMania match prediction, Kane and Randy Orton. But the match is going to, like Big Show Orton, Orton's going to suck. Yeah, Kane not as good as he once was, and Randy Orton, we don't need much to say. So, but I'm smelling Kane and Orton at Mania. Because, Orton's going to have nothing better to do. So, Spence Barrett's out. So, there you go. It's going to start a feud with Kane. Kane needs someone to feud with. Apparently, he's going to feud with Orton. Orton feuded with Kane's brother Undertaker at Mania. Now it's time for Kane to feud with Orton now for WrestleMania. Now, on to our last thing, which was John Cena and The Rock. Throughout the evening, we saw The Rock in Boston giving history lessons. The Boston Tea Party. Starting like what he likes to call the Rock Revolution. Comparing Cena to the British. About the Revolutionary War, about the British being shoved down people's throats and people wanting someone to stop the British. Well, Cena is like the British getting shoved down people's throats. The Rock is the George Washington, and kept comparing to his penis a lot with John Hancock reference and all that half-horse stuff. And he threw Cena's stuff off the Boston Harbor. Then he talked about him being the Paul Revere, about the Rock is coming to kick Cena's ass. And also later on, the last thing about Cena, yada yada. So after that whole talk about the history lesson, Cena came out at the end. He had a little interview in an empty arena talking about this is an important match for Cena. Because Cena, I do agree with Cena. His legacy is on the line. If he can't beat The Rock, he can't be legendary. Rock is legendary for beating Hulk Hogan 10 years ago. That cemented Rock's legacy. If Cena can't beat The Rock, he won't be legendary for being a legend. So we'll see what happens with that scenario. But Cena came out to end the night with another long segment. Didn't go as over as last week. But Cena's like, Rock, I want the Rock. Not the Dwayne Johnson Rock. I want the Jabroni Beanie Pioneer. Because he said last week, who am I going to fight? The Rock or Dwayne Johnson? I shook The Rock, apparently. And once again, when The Rock came out after Cena's whole talk, The Rock got a big reception. But the crowd turned on him quickly. I was surprised. I was so surprised. Because usually, I know Cena's been getting good reception in Boston, but not lately. He's been getting booed out the building everywhere, especially in Boston. But people were chanting, True Fairy. At least they were saying, you can't wrestle with Cena. Because Rock was like, Cena, I'm focused on you. I think he did flood it a few times, but he's The Rock. You know what I mean? Rock can do anything. But he talked about beating Cena's ass, about Cena being The Rock's bitch at Mania. And once again, no physical confrontation, more verbal. And I understand I'm trying to keep everyone healthy and all. Trying to make no one get injured, especially if everyone's getting injured. Lately, and I'm surprised The Miz survived Big Show without getting injured because Big Show's been injuring people. I didn't mention that. In the Big Show Miz match, I'm surprised Miz survived without an injury. So, The Rock did his thing. Of course, the boots to asses, candy asses, all that. Talking about beating Cena and everything else. And then Cena says, Rock, at the Rock left, Cena's like, Rock, you say you're going to make history by me being your bitch? Well, I'm going to be the son of a bitch to kick your ass. I didn't like and also didn't like the fact that Rock compared the Rock to situation. That's not a good comparison. Well, I know he's trying to say that because he's in Boston, and of course Boston hates anyone from New York, let alone from the tri-state area. Boston-New York rivalry continues on. Despite Rock, of course, despite the fact that Cena's been compared to the New York Yankees by CM Punk. So there you go. But like I said, Rock and Cena ends Raw again with their own little confrontation, adding more fuel to the fire. Cena's trying to win this battle. He wants to win this battle. But I guess I would like to Rock to win, but I'm fearing Super Cena's going to strike back. Because 10 years ago, legend against old school against new school won. Rock was the new school 10 years ago. Now I'm fearing it'll be the same result. Old school, the new school, Cena will win. But I just hope not. But who knows? Maybe they'll let the Rock win in Miami like they did Punk in Chicago. But so there you go. And Rock saying that Cena's got fear for Rock and all that. So then a little competition end. And I mean Rock may be in Cleveland next week too. So we got Rock in Cleveland, Shawn Michaels in Cleveland, and Undertaker in Cleveland next week, adding more fuel to the Road to WrestleMania fire. And John Laurinaitis will return, unfortunately, for us all. Teddy Long did okay, but we'll see what happens with Laurinaitis on SmackDown. But if this is what Teddy Long's going to bring to Raw every week, it's going to be chaotic. 3 squashes in a row. But like I said, the Punk Jericho tag match with Punk teaming up with Sheamus and Jericho with Bryan made up for the squashes. And, Shawn Michaels and referee, Rock Cena, another confrontation that was epic as the last one, but still kind of an epic situation. And of course, the new U.S. champion, Santino, how long will he last? Glad Ryder's back. Hope he wrestles again soon. So it's an okay Raw tonight. See what happens down the road as we head towards WrestleMania on April 1st. That is it for my WWE Raw review. Thank you all very much for watching. Comment your thoughts on Raw. Comment your thoughts about Rock and Cena. Thoughts about WrestleMania. Comment your thoughts. Thank you all very much. You've all been attacked by the review from Zach. Thank you all very much for watching. Have a great rest of your night and week. See you all later. Yeah.